Good evening, esteemed colleagues and guests. I come to you to speak about the financial dilemma of our historical university. We are currently facing a funding dilemma. As you all may know, over the past few years, the state continues to decrease funding to our university. This has caused us to have to lay off faculty and reduce courses. We have also had to use discretionary funds from our endowment to pay our bills. Our students are being affected because we have to increase our tuition, which in turn causes them to seek out more financial aid, which is student loans, as we all know. Students are shying away from these financial obligations because, for one, they don't want to have to pay student loans. Two, it's no longer affordable. And three, they end up having to drop out of school because they can't sustain the financial obligations, therefore decreasing our overall enrollment. So I come to you with an alternative funding recommendation. I would like you to consider income share agreements as an alternative funding source. Income shared agreements, alternative higher educational revenue sources. You may ask, what are income shared agreements? As defined by Wikipedia, income share agreements are United States financial structures in which an individual or organization gives a fixed amount of money to a recipient who, in exchange, agrees to pay back a percentage of his or her income for a fixed amount of years. You may ask now, how do income share agreements work? Well, income share agreements work like this. Investment companies agree to invest on a student's expected outcome after college. So what they're hoping for is that these students get lucrative jobs and they're able to get the highest percent on their return. But in some situations, these students get lower paying jobs. Therefore, the percentage that they pay back is lower. Remember, students receive these funds up front with the agreement to pay back the investment via future incomes. Universities can use their endowments to invest in their college students with the hopes of a return on their investment. That's smart, because what can happen is they can put more effort into the student to help them become employable, therefore sending them into the work world, able to receive these lucrative jobs, therefore getting the higher percentage paid back to university. Currently, Purdue University has created an ISA that funds upperclassmen. Upperclassmen refers to junior and senior students who are willing to repay the foundation a percentage of their post-graduation salaries for no more than 10 years. The program is called Backup Boiler. The history behind ISAs. Milton Friedman, who is an American economist, economist, and a Nobel Peace Prize winner in 1976, proposed in 1955 to allow students to sell themselves as human capital investments. Now several states have passed legislative to study paid forward proposals, which would essentially be a graduate tax. Future predictions. Tonio DeSorrento, who is the CEO of Vivo Education, predicts that more schools will follow suit behind Purdue University Income Share Agreement program. He believes this because other universities will see the potential that Purdue University sees and invest in their students, bring them maximum return on their investment. According to Charles Trafton, head of Flow Point Capital, told Business Insider that the market for income share agreements is only 20 million, but could easily be 1 billion in about 5 years. Now here are the upsides of income shared agreements. 1, can reduce student risk. Because income share agreements is not a loan and an investment, students don't have to take the risk of taking out student loans and not being able to pay them back. Because remember, repayment is based on earning potential. If the investment company decides to invest in the students, the university receives all the funds up front. But if the university decides to back the students, they'll receive a return on their investment once the student graduates. If we decide to go with income shared agreements, we can lower college funding costs for our students. And we could potentially lower our tuition. If we're able to lower our tuition, we can now enable low and moderate income students to afford college, making college attractive again, which in turn will increase our overall college enrollment. With any investment, there's a downside. The first downside to an ISA is upfront costs. If the universities decide to invest in their students, they will not have immediate access to these possible investment returns. Therefore, no funds for bills. Time. If investors decide to invest in these students, they won't see a return for 7 to 10 years. Collection. Getting students to document their income and keep up with the terms of the agreement could be a challenge as well. Privatizing could cause states to reduce or even stop subsidizing public higher education. Remember, ISAs only work in the economy if it's vibrant enough to give college graduates a path to success. That means jobs would have to be available for students to obtain once they leave college. The system can potentially collapse if the investments are not paid back. In conclusion, if we decide to embark on taking on an income share agreement program or solicit investment companies to invest in our students, this could help our institution by helping our students decrease student loans. Now that our students can be invested in, they no longer have to take out student loans and no longer have to worry about debt. Therefore, increasing our student enrollment. We can decrease our tuition costs again, which will help increase our student enrollment. If we, as a university, decide to invest in our students, we can see an increase in our endowment based on the returns from our investments. And overall, we can see a sustained financial stability. So again, please consider income shared agreements as a potential revenue supplement for the lack of state funding. Thank you for your time and consideration, and good evening.